Greetings to all education pioneers. I am very pleased to have this opportunity to share with all individuals the application of generative AI in the field of teaching and education. ChatGPT 3.5 makes its highly anticipated appearance on the scene, ignited rapid expansion of generative artificial intelligence. OpenAI in the month of November in the year of 2022. The release of ChatGPT version 3.5 has been announced. Following that, ChatGPT 4 was released in the month of March, specifically in 2023. How much progress has been made? After successfully completing and passing the bar examination in the United States of America, it has experienced an increase from the 10th percentile to the 90th percentile. That is, out of 100 people, from winning 10 people to winning 90 people. That's his perf. Exceeds the average law student in terms of quantity or quality. Perform well. Later during the month of August 2023, OpenAI released ChatGPT Advanced Data Analysis, enhanced the functionality of graphing. On the 6th day of the month of November, OpenAI has officially released the highly anticipated ChatGPT 4 Turbo model. A customized version of ChatGPT was proposed. In April of 2024, OpenAI releases the use of ChatGPT. You can utilize it without registering. Later, Copilot, Gemini, Cloud, Poe 4 additional words required, AI generation method, expanding rapidly like mushrooms after the heavy rain starts pouring. During its rapid and steady growth, the whole world has also taken notice possible problems that may arise from generative AI technology. So the G7 targeted generative AI developers established a code of conduct on October 30th, 2023. G7 proposed establishment in Japan. Developers should add digital watermarks in final generative AI products. Applying digital watermarks to mark and safeguard the content. In November 2023, an artificial intelligence security summit was held in the United Kingdom. Successfully achieved the passing of the Bletchley Declaration. Emphasis was placed on recognition as well as reducing the overall risk of AI with the wave generated by ChatGPT 3.5. Such an explosion of a generative AI. Now, according to statistics, on a weekly basis, more than 1 billion individuals utilize ChatGPT for their needs. Come and discover something new today, looking for innovative ideas and find solutions to the problems they face. Consequently, the idea that I have in mind is providing assistance to students in preparing for the rapidly evolving AI world. It is the obligation of the teacher with no excuses whatsoever. Next, we'll report to all the impact of generative artificial intelligence on education. Education, instruction, pedagogy, learning, evaluation, assessment. Both teachers, along with students, must make moderate adjustments in order to succeed. Changes needed in education area. A wealth of information and knowledge provided by generative AI. Teachers are required to educate students through the acquisition of knowledge, make adjustments for competency-based learning, transforming the knowledge provided by generative AI into wisdom. Teaching must flip. When students are able to easily access generative AI, acquiring knowledge, how teachers can leverage their strengths, use generative artificial intelligence to improve critical thinking instruction, learning through problems, learning independently, learning together collaboratively, to enhance students' collaboration, teamwork, and critical problem-solving abilities. These are all things that teachers have to flip over. That is, using generative AI. In the process of using it as a tool in teaching, it's already a standard equipment, essential tools. Next is the need for assessment to change. In high school, student submitting assignments in large quantities using generative AI. How can teachers utilize Change the assessment content to higher order cognitive assessment. In evaluation, changes in approach. Strengthen oral and practical skills assessment. Incorporating assessment through reflective portfolio. If teachers do not change their assessment methods, students still submit assignments traditionally. In that situation, students will become lazy or even develop a strong addiction to AI technology over time. Therefore, we have to modify students' learning habits accordingly. Educators must first modify the way they assess students. The subsequent step entails the adjustment of the mindset of the teacher. Generative AI efficiently conveys a lot of knowledge. If teachers stay at the stage of transmitting knowledge to students, the importance in students' minds will be significantly diminished. Thus, the dignity of teachers will be significantly impacted by this situation. In the past, teachers were the primary source of knowledge for students. The future in the era of generative AI, educators are merely one of the sources for transmitting knowledge and information. Teachers must move from knowledge-based instructors to a teacher who is both a mentor and a guide. Next is the change students must undergo in their learning. If students become too dependent on generative AI, will become passive, lazy in thinking, addicted to artificial intelligence, hard to innovate. So how can students utilize generative AI to enhance their learning experience? Self-learning, personalized learning. This can enhance learning effectiveness. So basically, what are the ways in which teachers and students can effectively utilize generative AI to boost teaching learning effectiveness? Still need to stress. Next, I'd like to report the fundamental concept of applying generative AI. Basically, I address 8 concepts. Utilize it instead of prohibiting it. Use with caution and stay vigilant. Optimize non-dependency optimization. Diversity, not same. Assistant, not a gaussette. Clear, not blurry. Time-saving benefits. Opportunity, not crisis. 8 ideas. Firstly, we're discussing the importance of proper use, not prohibition. How to effectively integrate curriculum and teaching strategies, assessment and admin, or it could be in life. It is about utilizing it effectively, not prohibiting it. Actually, you cannot really prevent students from utilizing it. Generative AI. Following is to be an assistant, not a gaussette. It can serve as a teaching tool for teachers. Educational resources for students. It is a digital assistant used for teaching or administrative tasks. However, I am not a professional ghostwriter. The event commenced in October of the year 2022. OpenAI, the company, provides access to its resources for individuals worldwide. A virtual assistant. However, certain individuals will not utilize it. Some individuals utilize it to lessen their workload, enhancing administrative efficiency. So my fundamental philosophy is use it, don't impose a ban on it. Assistant, not a person who shoots guns. Now let's talk about use with caution and stay vigilant. Collection of personal info. Infringement of privacy, bias, or discrimination. This duo, one should always be watchful during the process of utilization. Utilize it with caution. Avoid potential issues. In order to enhance the maximum efficiency of its use, it's about optimization, not dependency. Optimize our use of it. 5 steps to prepare for a successful PPVIO audit. To optimize the initial draft generated by GPT, instead of relying or getting hooked, we'll discuss this in a moment. These are the 5 steps of teaching. 5 steps to organize your evidence effectively. We need to delve deep into fundamental knowledge and experience to be able to critique and optimize why we recommend not using before the age of 12, 13 to 17 years old. Utilize with consent from a parent or legal guardian. It is because of using generative AI must have a strong foundation of knowledge and experience. There won't be any mistakes. I still can't perceive it myself. Next is diversity, not uniformity. Teaching should emphasize critical thinking instruction. Assessment should focus more on oral or practical skills. With a more diverse approach to teaching assessment, enhancing higher level cognition, the ability to criticize innovation, and the ability for self-learning, clear instead of being blurred. Instead of vagueness, clear guidance better. Prof. Doctor, it can be clearly expressed and stated in the curriculum. Can generative AI be used? When to use? Assess time? How is it going today? How many points do you need? All of this needs to be clarified in a clear manner. To explain the complete academic ethics and potential risk involved, it is always preferable to be clear rather than vague. Next is time-saving, efficient conversion. Teachers, students should use initial draft of generative AI. To boost learning efficiency, time saved. Shift to teaching that emphasizes abilities and competencies, innovation and practice. We should be able to save time, be more efficient in using. Take the previous knowledge learning methods to spend a substantial amount of time. This portion can be given to generative artificial intelligence. Then utilize the time that is left, teach a large amount of skills and competencies. It's an opportunity rather than a crisis. General AI still poses more questions than answers. But rather than just looking at the problem and criticizing it, better to see what can do what you can. We transform crises into opportunities for growth and success. Next, let me inform everyone 5 essential steps to integrate generative AI into teaching practices effectively. I initiated my journey in the month of February 2023 with many university faculty and students. After discussion with high school, I proposed how to use generative AI, utilize it well, assist the entire teaching process. Rather than rejecting or relying, we hope to be integrated in this process, enhancing efficiency, maximize abilities, improving teaching, innovate always. We also need to consider ethical issues. Privacy, IP, security, and related privacy concerns, things we must pay attention to. Next, I want to specifically discuss these 5 steps. Just be ready for questioning and verification. Due to time constraints, I'm focusing on this part that involves asking. Let's briefly discuss these 5 steps first. Let's now focus our attention on the aspect of asking. Prompt: we should be fully prepared. Hi there. Later, ask questions. Accuracy is vital when answering questions. Basically, to ask good questions, we must ensure that we are adequately prepared for the task. In the process of preparing, we have 3 steps: awakening old experiences. The second step is searching for new knowledge, then generate preliminary ideas. My suggestion is, after having initial ideas, ask ChatGPT again, ask about generative AI. Basically, ask random Qs, it'll give random As. To put it simply, you are empty? I have no clue. Your request won't become more precise. We need to report to everyone. Make sure to have a clear idea before asking precise and specific questions. Asking is not random asking. Ask precise questions. As an example, what is your current role? In what context? What is your aim for this task? What level do you aim to attain with your actions? Covering basic concepts. How to ask advanced questions. Output specs? Wait a second. We will provide additional details on this topic. On scaffold of question. During entire questioning, consider it is best. These are basic and indirect questions. And the format of the output, having a scaffold of questions to assist in questioning, clearer soon. Here, Q&A. I see it as a Siamese twin. After each question, after generative AI generates the answers, ensure critical verification engagement. So here is a method for conducting cross-examination, highlighting the value of critical examination. How do you verify critique? I said 6 words. Right, 1, connect, weak, bias, invade. Right, valid. First, review the accuracy of generative AI answers. Another thing to think, consistency of generative AI content. Because every sentence of generative AI, probability issue, all one node. Shows next answer based on probability. It may be possible, front and back don't match up. So internal consistency, need to do some verification. Again, link is meant to establish a connection with external documents, consistency with external perspectives. That is, ChatGPT and academia's responses to the community, is it the same as the general public's viewpoint? Link, if its ideas differ from others, it may be necessary to do some further verification work. Can you, briefly, is it considering the completeness of the issue adequately? Is it adequate? For instance, we discuss an issue. It may involve personal factors, factors related to family, school, and social environments, and global factors. Is its consideration thorough enough? Also another, does it have any issues with bias? Zheng Yaozhou. The bias in here, it is generative AI, mainly considering the issue from the majority's perspective. This may overlook the thoughts and perspectives of minority groups. Opinions exist. There could potentially be bias against certain minority groups. It may infringe on copyright, privacy, and intellectual property rights. These parts, users need to do some verification work properly. However, these 6 characters of Zheng Yi Lian Zhou Pianqin all must be based on professional examination and review. After multiple rounds of cross-examination and questioning, we can now enter the stage of diversified integration. Invaried merging includes results of multiple feedback from GenAI loops, knowledge and experience imparted by teachers. There is also academic discourse. There are also peer discussions, suggest an integration phase. Try to use peer discussions as much as possible. Enhance group collaboration. It can also stress interpersonal communication and interaction. It can also help avoid generative AI. It can cause issues of interpersonal distancing. In integrated area, we emphasize the integration of diversity. After integration, we must emphasize optimizing. Optimizing, we emphasize a transition from understanding of information, application analysis, evaluation creation, optimization journey step by step. In this optimization process, we emphasize innovation, emphasize better, avoid excessive pressure. We must improve from prior, superior to previous is satisfactory. Actually, there is no best, only better. It is our fundamental principle in optimization, so I emphasize once again, there is no best, only better. We optimize the core principle. Of course, it involves copyright infringement issues. We need to appropriately annotate our citations, origin explained. If you utilize GPT for generation, you can also consider it to be an attachment to provide evidence of your use of generative AI with ChatGPT. Progress report. Overall, we emphasize the process of the plan, do, check, act cycle. Continuous improvement, continuously transforming from knowledge to skills and competencies. Again, arrange the evidence well. Asking questions is crucial. Prompt. This question, what we want to emphasize in particular is, it is one within the entire utilization of generative AI. The most fundamental work. During questioning process of this prompt, I specifically mentioned the 2 concepts of basic and advanced. The main part has tasks with questions, includes subject, verb, and object. Consider factors when asking. Cha, sit. Task, subject. Levels of action. It's even better to provide examples to guide it, of course. For example, if we talk about weight loss, can't ask randomly, cannot say how many kg I must lose. You must inform, for example, let me share. You are an expert in body management. The goal is to determine what GPT's current role is. Following, this is for a 40-year-old woman of age. Height 165 centimeters, weight 66 kilograms. Waist 83 centimeters. This is the current situation. Then, subject of my assignment, I want to lose weight to 60 kilograms within 6 months. 80 centimeters. So its action is to reduce weight. So basically, idea, we have completed. The role is an expert in the management of the body for the woman context. HT, what, and waist circuit. Task query. The goal is to lose 60 kilograms within 6 months, waist 80 centimeters. That action is primarily aimed at weight loss purposes. If you have examples, sure, it will be better. But we need to consider how it will generate things. What are my output needs? For example, what are your requirements? Which elements do you want? You must include your approach. Your KPI and points to note. Also, you use para. Still apply rules. Use table. Your style is academic, warm, friendly. Use charts. Chart format type query. Any word count limits? Any restrictions? So what we're moving to is prioritize weight loss, please. In a tabular format, enumerate the process for establishing every 2 months KPIs and considerations for evaluation. So this section, simply place the output requirements in a table, and it will take 2 months to do, KPIs and important considerations. Therefore, ensure to clarify all the conditional paragraphs and charts in a clear manner. So this section is in the process of our prompt. We emphasize asking questions fundamentally. Asking questions and output criteria. Questions must consider role context, themes of tasks and levels of action taken. To have examples to guide it would be better. In the output, we particularly emphasize the conditional paragraph style, charts and limits. Besides basic inquiry, advanced questioning to consider. Advanced inquiry, inquired about altering the internal settings. Ask multi-cues involves cross-exam. That's the topic. Socratic method of questioning. Inquire layer by layer. Derive problems from problems. Undergo cross-examination process. A usual example is approach employed by Socrates. Also another, when asking, plan ahead for the horizontal aspect. Vertical approach, how? Again, horizontally. Issues need to be addressed from the individual, family, school, societal, and national levels. Examining from global viewpoints. This is horizontal. Vertically, we must go from stage 1 to stage 2. P3, what up? E.g., referring to the 5 steps of great prep for the CERT exam. Questions to ask in stages. All things are somewhat pre-arranged and pre-planned in process of asking more questions. Also another, let's discuss again, in questioning, one crucial aspect exists. Generative AI typically has an internal mechanism, like that ChatGPT, friendly and polite in nature. It won't use bad words. It won't use bad words. It is extremely polite and courteous to compliment you. At times when grading assignments, must be firm. So when you need to use a strict approach, when grading student assignments, ask it to use rigorously. Approach this task rigorously this time. Again, typical ChatGPT only asks questions passively, won't ask actively. Unless you remind, ask if you have questions. Else it won't ask proactively. Also CG, it'll surely give a clear answer. But if you want to say, it's best not to reply than to answer incorrectly. In this case, speak to it. If unsure of answer, no need to reply. Also, here comes ChatGPT. Basically, it's all about answering common questions or make a comparison. Not from a pro perspective, but just ordinary knowledge. If you're picking a major today, emphasize professor perspective in our reply. Let it know which field for my answer. And the issues it discusses are all general in nature. Unique topics. It won't specifically address. For special needs, for example, from which ethnic group, or when discussing an issue from any perspective, you must talk to it. Otherwise, it is all from the perspective of the general public. To answer these questions, emphasize what needs to be. This table of this prompt question is extremely significant. After conducting my own research, what I'm sharing with everyone, an essential framework. Next, let's give another example. Your current location is Chiayi, a city in Taiwan. Adult tourists planning to visit Taipei. So the role is the adult. Please plan with Taipei as the main focus. A tour that lasts for 2 days. Attractions include the Forbidden City Museum and National Taiwan University. And the most optimal time, transportation modes and hotels. Basically, action is planning. The assignment involves a 2-day cultural excursion tour. The context he emphasized, it should encompass the Palace Museum in it, Taiwan Univ Allure. And the optimal time, transport, and hotels. Its output, please use the form format, introducing a detailed itinerary for a culturally enriching 2-day tour. So this section, left, generated text by me asking ChatGPT, because it's rather vague. I took a screenshot, left, on right, just a text. Do a section of organizing. Check inside this. You see, on the first day, from 6:30 in the morning, leave Chiayi and take the high-speed rail. It also reminds you, warm reminder for you, to buy tickets online in advance beforehand. Upon reaching Taipei, go to Palace Museum before 10 a.m. Take subway and bus, recommended. Furthermore, the MRT also tells you to go to Shilinshan, bus transfer. This is a very appropriate and thoughtful response. Then let's visit the Palace Museum. In the PM, we will go to National Taiwan University. Next, stresses mainly meals, snacks at eateries near Forbidden City. After, take MRT to Taipei NTU. Clear indication to go to Mansion is well marked. Then in the afternoon, it's time for a tour. TW Univ and surroundings, then walk. In the eve, go to Teachers' Night Market. This ChatGPT is still very smart. This is an extremely good attraction. Then proceed to check in and take a taxi. Hotel booking in Taipei City Center. Next day, after breakfast at 8 o'clock, arrive at CKS Hall at 9. Take MRT to CKS Memorial Hall. Explore nearby sites by the Memorial Hall. Spend another 2 hours. Then have lunch at the boutique coffee shop in the East District. Then take the MRT to Zhongxiao Dunhua Station. Then PM, strolling around Taipei 101 and the shopping district in Xinyi area. Then return to the hotel at 4 p.m. to pick up the luggage. Possibly start by using the luggage storage method. General accommodations in Taiwan. Checkout is around 12 p.m. It may be taking the baggage check approach. Then leave Taipei at 5 p.m. to go back to Chiayi. As always, it is recommended to purchase tickets online in advance. Next, lodging options. Star-rated hotels or boutique inns in Taipei City, like the W Taipei Hotel, the Sherwood Taipei, convenient for resting at night and starting the next day's itinerary. Here, I think, more thoughtful is mention of safety. Itinerary time is just a suggestion. Adjust according to individual interests and physical strength. Also, more high-speed rail, subway, buses, and taxis are the main modes of transportation. Convenient and efficient. 2 points I particularly like. Given Taiwan's erratic climate, carry rain gear with you. Also, the Palace Museum is closed on Mondays. Avoid the schedule for that day. I'm concerned about the arranged itinerary. I am fundamentally and completely satisfied with it. So basically, I think ChatGPT is still quite impressive, though. End of line. We need to reassess and reconsider the definitions of plagiarism and cheating. We need to go through 6 levels from self-creation to the application of AI. The creation of so-called AI is just the top layer. Then the bottom layer is the student's creation. We need to think which level is plagiarism cheating, which level is related to future job prospects, which job is suitable for which level. After considering this thoroughly, think, which level is considered plagiarism or cheating? I divide it into 6 levels. ABC Def. Student A places the assignment into the system of generative AI algorithms. Duplicate answers hand to teacher. Goes unsaid. Certainly simply duplicating the answers provided by the AI. We must discuss something on our side. How do we distinguish whether an article is AI generated? Essentially, I desire to notify all of you, as far as the Taiwan is concerned, this is a simplified Chinese character. Word choice across strait varies. If you're in Taiwan, seeing many simpchas, or if it is written in Chinese terminology, basically we need to consider, is it AI related or not? So you all can go check. Comparison table of terms on straight sides. Also, another AI is prone to appear. The issue of contradictory content. If you see, many of the assignments students give you are quite similar, or there could be logic issues. You may need to ask. Furthermore, another AI's responses are generally quite superficial in nature, superficial and general. For example, it loves talking answer is clear. It won't dare to say, the answer is very accurate. For example, it tells you issues exist, but it does not point out explicitly where the issue lies. This part, if you often hear students telling you issues exist, clear answer, you might want to consider this. Did AI provide it to you directly? Actually, there is virtually no possible way to judge completely accurately. Did the student just copy and paste? You can only have basic clues. This is part of level A. B level is students request a response from AI. Students read some relevant materials. After making some editing adjustments, hand it over to the teacher so it performs an editing and formatting action. The level of C is students generating numerous answers utilizing AI technology, or use a different AI using ChatGPT AI, Copilot or Gemini option. After a few AIs generated the answers to the questions, pick the best, edit to make it best before submitting. That's the level chosen. We went by copying from A, editing from B, selecting from C, 3 levels. Mostly AI focused. In part D, students first have the main ideas, preliminary idea, then have AI generate a draft. Then when you share some thoughts, after producing an initial draft outline for reference, share your feedback. Let's see this as level D. E level, student counseling AI and the internet. Or it is simply the concept behind a multitude of different types of generative AI integration proposal. Then proceed to write on your own. Submit homework. In other words, AI is just for reference. The focus is still on the students. At this moment, I just take it as a reference level. FL, students aren't using AI and the web. All is self-made. Actually, in the AI era, I mostly prefer the E level. Students have ideas. Form your view, then AI merely assists you in optimizing your tasks effectively, assisting you in making a better reference level. So in the AI era, I'm not the biggest fan of F. I most appreciate this level of E. Here we will discuss a topic. How do we generate AI articles? I have raised several key points. AI-related things are usually not very concrete. So I suggest when you are optimizing articles about AI, you need to provide more specific facts, specific cases. Then make it more thrilling and more abundant. Moreover, another AI things. Nums are often not V-precise. Basically, you should utilize more precise terminology and data. For e.g., I avoid explicit. I ask for correct. I am not saying instead indicate where it's accurate. What's wrong? The words and data choice must be precise. In addition, I recommend, while optimizing, to strengthen personal experience, emotions, and contemplations due to content, comparing individual uniqueness within it. Feelings. So basically, in optimizing AI, to deepen the experience, feelings, and reflection. Also another, it is crucial to emphasize your distinctive creativity and unique perspectives. So at present in this era, no longer a question, copy or not. But what is the key to optimizing generative AI performance? How can I help you leverage your strengths? Consider it as an aid. Make good use of it to enhance your productivity and efficiency. Finally, what I want to talk about is teaching is a continuous process of enhancement. There is no best, improved. Facing the era of AI, we enhance and improve our teaching. Improvement needed in all areas. I'd like to report up to now. Thanks all. Thanks.